Hello, welcome back to part 6. I went ahead and did the roof. I made this. This is going to be a little mushroom. I don't know if you can see, but I've got the gills in underneath. And then this is going to be the top. And I also went ahead and did the chimney because it's very time consuming when you make little rocks. So I just put clay over it, carved the little rocks out with a tool, and called it good. It got to be a rather chunky little chimney. But that's okay because I don't mind chunky. And I see some of my rocks are, that's the problem with this clay I'm using. It's a good clay, but it does kind of tend to slip once in a while. You don't watch it. So I'll just be, this is what I did to make my rocks. I'm just putting lines in. Just like so, just pressing them in there. There you go. Das clay honestly would probably work better, but I don't have any. So I'm using this homemade stuff. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. What I did to this too while you were gone was I had some leftover clay, so I just made it into rocks. It was starting to dry. And then I put this in, it's a little butter container, and I want it to look like a little pond out there. So there you go. That's what I did with it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn the light on. Maybe that'll help. I have a humongous window, but it's a very cloudy day. We've had rain for the past 3 days, and it's very cloudy. So I'm going to make these mushrooms like I made the top up there. And I did redo the window because I wasn't happy with it. And a little later on, I'm just going to go silent, speed up the video, and get it done so that we can get on to the really fun part, which is painting and decorating. Not that the whole process isn't fun, just painting and decorating are way more fun. So I put the gills in underneath this one so you can see what I did. I just brought that like that, and then I put it up over the edge a little bit, like so. If I don't get it all the way over the edge in all the parts, that's fine because the top will come over that anyway. So I'm trying not to get, I'm trying to get this so you can see what I'm doing, and my light is just terrible. I'm going to go on Amazon and order a really nice bright light, I think. Sounds like a good idea to me. The only place I have found that I think I might have enough light is my front entryway, which is a small space, but it's very bright out there. It's just also right now very cold out there because it's not heated. So I don't know if you can see, you probably can't. I've got a heck of it. Oh, everything is in shadow here. This is terrible, guys. I'm sorry. Let me, listen, I think I'll switch locations. Let me get this one on and then I'll switch locations and show you what I did. I'll go out to the entryway. Suck up the cold. It's very, very bright out there, so I will probably be using the light because of the cloudy day. Then I'm going to go on Amazon and order a nice light for this. So I'm just kind of building this up, poking it into my, down into where my tree is. Like it grew, but the tree was there, so it kind of had to grow around the tree, sort of, the tree bark. That's what I'm doing. I'm just using some water to smooth this clay some. I might want the middle of my mushroom just a little more peaked. Maybe so it looks a little more like a mushroom. Of course, there are some of those mushrooms that don't have very tall tops on them. They're just kind of flat like. I want mine to have a bit of a peak on it. Again, just poking it down into the bark. So it looks like the mushroom just kind of grew around the bark. Trying to get that smoothed out. Like so. Now we paint it, it'll look more like a mushroom, hopefully. I'm going to go ahead and put the gills in. I don't know if you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I apologize for this lighting. It is so bad. I've got Edison bulbs in this chandelier of mine, and they're not the best. Anyway, I'm going to put these in with I've got just a regular craft knife. And I kind of want them to come up around the edge. And I know you can't see this. I'm so sorry. I'm just pressing them down in there. So it gives the look of it. Right now my cardboard's a little damp from the clay, so it's kind of giving when I'm pushing on it. But as it dries, I can always go back and fix that little part. If there's a part that needs to be fixed. And you can decide how many of these you want in yours. You might not even want any. Until spring is here, there's a fly buzzing around. But it just doesn't feel all that warm because of the 2 days of rain and wind. We have never-ending wind. I'm just fidgeting with these. It's kind of a fussy project. Depends on how detailed you want to go. You don't have to. You can do it however you like. It's yours. It's your idea. So I'm just going to smooth this clay over the edge there because I kind of messed it up a bit. Okay then. Just going to kind of take my fingers and kind of push it up a little bit in the front. So I don't really want it sagging too bad. Okay, where the clay is loose there, it's just a little floppy, but that'll harden up as the clay hardens and everything will be great. Alright, so let me cut this video and go. I've got it marked out here where I should be, and I'm not where I should be. Let me cut this video and I will go out and get the other area ready. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm back. I've moved. I am now at a really weird angle to the camera, but I think there's a little more light here. At night it looks really bright out here, so I am in my entryway. And I'm going to get this part done because this just isn't working, guys, at all. It's not. So again, I'm just going to do the same thing with the rest of these 4 windows here. Putting the clay under the cardboard that I put up, and I did put the cardboard on all 4 of my door and my windows. I'll do a couple of these with you. I may, because I don't have a handy plug-in here, not real handy, I may just do part of these on video with you and then finish the rest off camera, give you enough to show you how I do what I do with my stuff. And yeah, I don't even know about making YouTube videos anymore. People aren't watching, and I don't know if it's because they're busy or if my channel's just not interesting, which is probably the case. Please don't comment on that. I'd rather not know. So, yeah, just humor me between my job and my life in general. I don't know if there's even a reason to do YouTube anymore. I'm not some gamer. I'm not someone who goes on great adventures because I don't have time. I have a job that monopolizes all of my time. Yesterday, I was going to go get my taxes done because I put that off. And I get to Madison, I pull into the gas station to go get something, and I say I missed a couple calls. And the calls were, oh, are you coming to this meeting? Oh, no, I was going to go do my taxes. It was my day off, but they're very good at scheduling meetings on my days off, which is not making me happy either. It's like I don't get a day off. And so it's not, the supervisor position is just not working well for me at all. I can do the job, I just can't put up with that craziness of, oh yeah, we're going to have a meeting, but it's going to be on your day off. This is 2 of them now on my days off. I realize we have to work around the families of the people we take care of, but I also know that I need to have some sort of a life of my own too, and I don't get that. So I'm getting my taxes done next Monday on the 13th. Hopefully nothing will come up because I know I'm busy for work on the 14th, which is my day off. So yeah, I'm hoping nothing. I'll straighten all that out when I get all of my little gills put in. So I'm hoping nothing comes up on the 13th also. Because it's just, can't get the stuff done I need to get done for me. I schedule it. And then there's something else. I don't remember on the meeting yesterday even being sent a notice about it. And if it was in an email account I can't get into. Because I can't, the password is, I don't know, I don't know if part of the password is uppercase or lowercase the way it was written out for me, and I can't get in there. And I get in the other one, but nobody sends anything to that one that's pertinent to life. Can you see that? I hope so. See there where I carved those in? And I'm just going to do that on all of these. And if I bump the camera, I'm sorry, I'm sitting at such an odd angle to be able to try to show you what I'm doing as well as do what I need to do and see the camera so I can make sure I'm in frame with you. My clay right now is really sticky for some reason. I don't know what's with that. It has spots where it'll be more dry and spots where it'll be more sticky. It's a good clay, it's a good recipe, it's just maybe not quite so good for what I'm doing here. If I wet it too much, then I risk my cardboard kind of warping on me. And this is a little dry now. First it was sticky, now it dries really quickly. Oh, I don't have my water. That's the one thing I forgot to bring out here was my water. Oh, we'll make it work. I think. Again, just pushing it down so that it looks like the mushroom grew around where the bark is. I have a bag of mortar down here that is going to be for my kitchen wall, which I can't get to either. And all kinds of good stuff that's just... Anyway, I noticed there was a spider web on this bag of mortar. Now if there's a spider down there, I'm going to scream. Yeah, it's gonna not be good. I guarantee it. I am terrified of those stupid things. I don't like them. It's like they seem to know, it's like, oh, there's somebody who's scared of spiders. Well, guess what? We'll go scare the crud out of her. Yeah, okay. No, I don't do spiders at all. And with spring comes spider season. And I'm not a lover of spider season. I get some big ones around here, the garden spiders. I had one year, this thing was yellow. I mean, it was yellow, not like, the golden mustardy yellow or anything like that. And it wasn't just a little bit. This whole damn spider was yellow. And it was horrible. It was just big and it was ugly and it was out by my back step. I finally poured water on it and it left. I think it relocated, which was fine with me because there's no way I was going to live with that on my back step. I realized they kill bugs and all that good stuff. But I am terrified of them and want nothing to do with them. I hate them. It's the way they crawl and the fact that they can come down on a web right in front of you and you don't even know it till they're like right there. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be here right now. My clay's not thick enough right there. All right, we'll just move some down. It's a good clay. It's just not always so good for everything. And this is fiddly little stuff, and it's not always so good on that. I'm just going to go over the edges a little bit in some spots. Not all of them, just some. Just poking those in with my knife. Am I still in frame? Kind of. I tell you, this has got to end. I got to order one of those lights. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna poke that back in there before it gets too dry. I have another kind of mushroom because these are gonna represent those more flat ones because nothing is. I've had a week. This has been a horrible, horrible week for me. I guarantee it. I locked myself out of the house I work at the other day. Went and got 2 different keys. It didn't work. Finally, I had to have somebody just come and let me in. The next day, my car wouldn't start. I went to leave work at 10:30 at night. I'm the only staff there. Car won't start. Something's going on with the battery. Car wouldn't start, so it's 10:30 at night. I'm like, what am I going to do? I live 20 miles away. I'm not going to walk, obviously. So I text someone, and they're not working that night. And I'm like, oh, good, okay. So I called another house because someone that works there does live in the same town as I do. And they're like, oh, she left already. I'm like, oh, no. So I tried someone else that used to work there. And he's like, I'm in Tennessee, or I'd come and do it for you. And I'm like, oh. So I did try calling the lady that worked at that other house. My clay is getting very, very dry right now. And she said, yeah, she goes, I'm just down by Main Street. I'll come back and get you. So she came back and got me. So I got a ride with her the next day to work because my car was there and I didn't want 2 cars at work because I didn't know how I was going to get one home. And so I couldn't get it to start. Sometimes your battery will come up a little bit on its own. Mine didn't. So I called the office of the company I work for and I said, hey, can maintenance come out and jump my car? And they were like, yeah, just call maintenance. So I called them. They came out and jump started it. I let it run. I was supposed to have a meeting. That's all I do. And so, but the person I was supposed to meet with couldn't meet me at that time. So I shut the car off. And I went back in, did my job. So when I got about time she could meet with me, I went out to the agency I work for. And just as I was turning the corner to go there, she was coming the other way. And I'm like, oh no, she must have thought I wasn't coming. So I didn't think she saw me because she was looking the other way. So I pulled into the lot at the agency because I had to do something else anyway. And she pulled up beside me, so she must have saw me. And then said that she got called to go somewhere else, so that's what she was doing. And told me very briefly, we never did have the meeting we were going to have. Told me very briefly what we were going to meet about. And then she took off and left, and I did what I had to do, and I left and went back to work. Still not knowing all the details, which is why I'm not getting my day off Tuesday. So that's my week. So then I came home. My car thankfully kept going, and I came home, and then yesterday I had the call about, are you coming to this meeting? Which is, I have to be there, so of course I went. I canceled getting my taxes done. So then I had to call them afterwards and arrange to have a different day for getting my taxes done. My clay is getting dried out. So I'm going to fold the wet stuff over the dry stuff and hope that works. It really is a nice clay. It just dries too fast sometimes. Do you notice how big I got everything? This is really big. Okay, so let's try for the door. I need a door frame, and due to the fact nothing's going right, well, due to the fact nothing's going right, this probably won't either. I can almost, imagine right now how this is going to go. So I'm just going to stretch my clay, stick it in there, and then I'll mold it like I want it when I get it stuck in there. I don't even have anything to stick this clay to. I mean, I don't have my water. But this clay, honestly, is pretty good about sticking to stuff. So that's something. Okay. So you'll probably all be happy as heck, but I think I'm just going to go silent now and just work. I think you can pretty much see what I'm doing. Yes, my hands will be in the way from time to time, and I may pick it up from time to time just so that I can better see what I'm doing. So that I'm in a very awkward position right now. not working very well either because my clay is out here. It's drying way too fast. It's very dry, the air in here, and it's drying way too fast. I haven't used this type of clay before. Unlike doing the door frames and that, I used DAS last time, but I am out of DAS. And if I could have a day off, I would go, but it's 50 miles to the nearest place. I don't like ordering online on a lot of stuff when I can just go get it. I can use 40% off at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So, yeah. And I can have it that day and I can shop for other stuff while I'm there. So I'm not a big fan of ordering online when it's something I can get and have it on hand right away. Okay then, my door is humongous. Go through all the frames first. My clay is getting too dry. It's pulling out. There's toilet paper in this clay. So it's more like a paper clay, but it's drying out too fast. So like I said, it's very dry around here. So let's try to put some wood grain in here. So you get the idea. I may finish this off camera, but I want you to get the idea of what I'm doing. And I don't care if my windows are My window frames are crooked. I think that just adds to the character of the little houses themselves. It just makes them cuter, I think. If they're crooked, not even. I like that. I really love that look. Okay, I think we'll do the front door. A little much, I think. The nice part about this clay, it does not shrink. That is one good thing about it. It does not shrink. So let me just define my door here. No shrinking, and I honestly have not had it crack on me. So that's the good parts of this clay. Just don't think I got the consistency quite right, or it's just not a very good clay for modeling fine details like you would do in these. I have tried so many air dry clay recipes. I've tried the cold porcelain. That was a disaster. It came out hard, so that wasn't exactly great. Do I want to cut this, or do I want to just try to do little round holes? I think that would be cute. Just do little round holes in the middle of my door. And I'm going to do that before I put any detail onto the door. As you can see, this clay is kind of rubbery. Do I want to do two, or do I want to do more? Yeah, they're kind of big already. I think we'll just do the two. I'll just widen them out a little bit. As you can see, my clay slips on the jars. I haven't had this problem previously. I didn't with the last one, but then again, like I said, it's different every time I make it, it seems like. I would love, just absolutely love to find a consistent air dry clay recipe that worked all the time, every time, for what I want. So if anybody knows a good one, let me know. Because this is not the greatest. Okay, let's make more glister for this. It's hard. We'll do it too. Do another line to each side, and I'll remake my holes again. And this happens with das too, so it's not like it's just the clay on that. It's many a person using das and other and have to redo their holes for their windows and stuff. What the hell is going on? So sorry about that last little part there. I couldn't figure out what the noise was I heard, and if you heard the noise on the camera, which you should have, to me it sounded like when they show on TV like a cougar screams. Well, so I thought it was one of our cats that was outside. Well, it wasn't. It was some stupid little kid riding by on his bike and decided he had to scream right at that minute, and it scared the crap out of me. And like I said, I thought it was one of our cats having a fight, so yeah, I kind of, well, you know, you were there. Anyway, let's get on with this, get this part finished up. I had to get some more clay. My air dry clay I made, I had it out too long. You don't store it in the fridge, so you leave it out, and it's only good for a while. And this is obviously being filmed like way after the other video because I've been busy. But yeah, so I had to go get some more. So I went to the Dollar General, and all they had was Crayola Model Magic, and I paid $1 for each one of these little packs. And this stuff is, I don't know, it's kind of like between a clay and a silly putty, but I really like it. I really, really like it. So to check into it, if it's not real expensive, maybe I'll buy some of this. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, so I am down now to the parts of making my windows however I decide I would like them. So I'm just going to roll this out right now. I'm torn on how to do these. There's so many ways. I mean, you could leave them just like this if you wanted. That's strictly up to you. I'm like, do I want to just go across with one bar there and make windows? Do I want to do a fancy like Y type thing, which I might. I've never used this clay before, guys, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. This is my big long window. And you know what I don't have? I don't have my X-Acto knife. Imagine that. I don't have something. But I think we can cut it with that. I just don't want the funky shape there. So, we'll see if we can straighten that out a little bit. It's kind of like the upper floor window I did. And this is that big window to the back of the house. So, let's see what we can do with it. You know, I've watched other people and I thought about doing it. Maybe I'll do it on the side windows where they fill the whole window in like you do when you're doing the door, where you just spread the clay over it and then they just cut out random shapes out of it. Those are some neat looking windows. So I may do that with the other ones. Right now I just want to get this big window taken care of. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to flatten it out a little bit, and then I'm going to put another piece on the bottom. Sorry about the clay wrapper. This stuff is really, really, really different. It almost feels plasticky. I guess I didn't read the, the ingredients or whatever to see, but it's like kind of got a silly putty feel, but not as slick, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't know if you can add water to it. I just took it out of the package just now. It's the first time I've really opened it up and looked at it, and I'm not sure what you can do with it. So I'm just going to push it down into my windowsill here. Just so I have it stuck. Make sure the sides are stuck good. Says it has to dry overnight, so that's kind of different. The other air dry clay dries almost immediately. So now I'm just going to make my lines in here to simulate the wood best I can. I really like the X-Acto knife for that, but whatever. I didn't exactly want the crossing in there, but we'll take care of that in a minute here. So it's raining like the day before yesterday. We had snow again. And I left home and it was coming down so hard. If there'd been snow on the ground, they would have declared it a blizzard. You couldn't see. It was kind of, the wind was blowing and it was just coming at you so bad. I really just couldn't even see. Driving home for a while, it was pretty crazy. This is April. It's like, let's end this snow stuff. So I'm going to pull it in a little closer. Hopefully you can see. I have my new light also that I ordered. But yeah, I like it, but it just isn't powerful enough. I don't know. I just have bad luck with lighting. Maybe summer will come soon and it'll be bright sunlight and that should light the place up, hopefully. Okay, so I'm going to try one of those windows with this. I just need to get my... If you hear anything, it's my cat. He's got a box that he's playing with. And we all know cats love boxes, so he is having a good time. It's kind of smashed out of the box, but earlier he was running across the floor and then he'd jump in the box and it would move. It was pretty cute. So if you hear anything, it's the cat in the box, having fun, doing what cats do. So I'm just going to push this down with my finger a little bit so it's not quite so lumpy and bumpy. Get it worked into that other clay. And then I'm going to attempt to cut with this thing. And what I'm going to do is just try to cut out different, I don't know what you call them. Just going to cut it out however I feel like cutting it out. And it's proving to be kind of difficult. I watch some people, they do this and they just swipe it with their knife and their clay comes right out of there. Like, no problem. Me, I have problems. See, and what you would do in this one is you'd cut out shapes, like, I don't know. But you'd have this really funky looking window when you were done. I'm obviously not going to get that funky looking window. That's why I wish I had my X-Acto knife. I thought I grabbed it, but I guess I didn't. See, my clay does that. It pulls, it sticks to whatever. So you know what, we're going to take this out, and I'm just going to do it like I did the upper window. Now it's pulling that out because this is still wet. I just put these in. I should have known better. But I didn't, so I'm going to pull this out of here, the stuff I just put on, and I'll redo this, and we'll be right back in business in a sec. So you see, even though you do something dumb like that, this Crayola clay allows you time to work with it. The homemade stuff I had would have been starting to, just starting to dry. And so I like this for that. Like I said, if I really like it on this project, I may just buy that instead of the DAS. It can't be any more expensive. I mean, I guess that depends on what you think is expensive, but me, I think DAS is a little expensive. So, yeah, I may check into getting some more of this. I really like it. I like the consistency. All right, I think we're back to just making a regular window out of this, like the other one. And that's what we're going to do. We'll just do them all the same. That's too much clay there. Kind of thought it might be. So yeah, I have this new light, but like in here, I'm in my dining room right now, and I've got my chandelier on again. So the Edison bulbs that are yellowish colored, which doesn't really help lighting much. And yeah, so I thought this new light was probably going to be the answer, but I think I need to really mess around with it more. It's not a super huge one. I didn't really want 500 watt or something like that. Maybe that's what I should have got, you know. Maybe I should have went that route, but I didn't. So it is what it is. I think as long as I hold it more toward the light, like so. And I got too much, don't stick. And one thing I don't like about this is you touch it. You just touch it to itself and it's stuck. Which is fine, except when you don't really want it to stick because you need to move it around a little bit yet. That's my problem with that. Otherwise, I do like this Crayola clay. Okay, so let's see if we can get it to come down here like I want it. So I can get it stuck into that. I don't really worry too much about it sticking because it's sticking. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Let's put our lines in it, like we did before. These upper ones that are coming down. This is not the best tool to be using for this. It's too big. That's why I prefer the X-Acto knife, but you know, I bought a set of little carving tools. They're tiny, like miniature actual wood carving tools. I should get those out. I bought them, and I used to use them when I was doing miniatures, and not so much maybe for carving, but for things like this right here that I'm doing with this clay. For carving, but not carving wood. Let's put it that way, okay? Okay, so there. See, I have that window, and now I just got one more window, and then we're going to start on the landscape part of it, and we're going to be done with that. And then the next video will be painting and finishing. I don't know how long the video is going to be, but that's going to be the fun part when we decide what colors we want to use, what plants maybe we want to use. I don't mind, like a lot of the fairy houses, they just take the clay and they make like vines and stuff out of it, and it's really cool. It really is, but I like adding like the reindeer moss and all that stuff to it. I think that just adds, I think it just really adds something to it when you have the look of more live plants around it and stuff. Heck, I'd use actual little pebbles, but it's already getting pretty heavy, so yeah. I don't know if I really want to go use the little pebbles, but it would sure be cute. Be a neat idea. Just way too heavy. I use a glass jar. Like my first one I did out of a plastic jar, and there's weight to it because of the roof and stuff, but not like this one with the glass jar. Something's getting hard to find around here, those glass jars. Most everything's plastic nowadays. Okay, let's just get that down in there. Take our oversized, too big tool and put some wood look into it. Get some of that texture. Now, if it was a hobby knife, instead of just poking at it, I would be drawing down or up into the clay, but this thing is way too big for my little space here, so we're just going to do it this way and call it good. And I mean, it's a fairy house, so it's a fantasy to start with, and also it's your own creation, so, you know, you can do whatever you want with these. There's no right or wrong. There, you see we have our other window? I apologize. I really thought this light was going to be it. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to, instead of these kind of horrible looking door frames I have on here that I made, if I want to take some clay and maybe make, for my door frames, make some big mushrooms that kind of go out to the side. I don't know if that'd be overdoing it, but we'll see. Just some tall mushrooms. And that's the nice part about mushrooms, they're pretty easy. That just kind of come out right here where the, I just want to see if I'm going to like this. This isn't how it's going to be, but I just want to see if I'm going to like what I'm doing. I get these ideas. I mean, that's kind of why I don't like doing tutorials, because I change my mind quite often. I just want to see if I'm going to like something like that. I mean, we're not going to look at that part, but yeah, I think that might actually be cute. And I'll have to fill in by the steps with something, because obviously the mushrooms probably aren't growing out of nowhere. Ooh, magic mushrooms. Okay, yeah. Alright, sorry about that. Sometimes you just gotta be goofy. So I think if I put the mushroom kind of like that, then I'll fold up some rocks or something right there beside my steps. I just kind of want to curve this around so that it's kind of, well, I want it to be able to hold on to here for one. And we'll just keep going with the rocks down here. I've got a tree root, but that doesn't matter. We can cover that up. That's okay. Okay, let's see if we can get a mushroom going here. Or half mushroom. I don't need a whole mushroom, just a half. And of course, making mushrooms are easy because it's just like making a triangle, basically. Just a triangle, and or you could do the flat type mushrooms. I mean, mushrooms, there's the ones that have the big round balls like on top of them. I don't know what they're called, puff balls or something like that. So mushrooms are whatever you want to make them. Like this mushroom here, honestly, oh, now it's sticking. This mushroom honestly probably looks more like a witch's hat than a mushroom. And I'm wondering the way it's sticking, if I wouldn't have better luck putting it on and then molding it, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. And I mean, that's okay. I'm alright with that. That's how I usually am with my projects. I don't know where I'm going with them. I just kind of let them take me there. I think my mushroom is, I don't know. Do I like that? Don't I like that? I don't know. Help me, guys. So I'll make some little gills under here. And I'll pull it edge back down. I mean, they're basically, you really don't see much of them. They're just there for looks. And do I like this? Do I really like that? Yeah, probably not. Okay, peel it off. That's the one thing though, that it does come off easy. It just like sticking to itself a lot. So, all right, I think we're just gonna build up our door frames a little better because that clay was getting really dry by the time I put it on here. So let's just build up some new door frames. That works. This is the cool part. You could change it. You don't have to. You know, if you do something and you really don't like it, you can change it. All you got to do is change it. Just say, hey, I don't like this, and I'm going to try this instead. So let's just do that. Oh, yeah. Sticking really nice. I don't have any water with me either to put down to like stick the clay to the clay. But this stuff is sticking really good. So I'm thinking I might buy some of this. This is going to be my project that tells me yes or no. So, yeah. Apologize for my hand being in the way there. Not really what I wanted to do, but it's kind of hard to mold this too without getting your hand in the way. And again, I'm just molding it around the bark on the edge there. And I'm just going to make some marks to simulate wood grain or whatever you want to call it. And it's not going to be the best, but again, it's a fairy house, so it can be whatever. And honestly, I like the rustic charm of stuff that's not quite even and not quite straight. I think it just makes it so much cuter. I really, really think it does. It adds so much to the character of whatever project you're doing. Alright, so I'm going to leave that like that, and then we're going to take a couple little pieces of clay, and I'm going to make some hinges for my doors. For my door. I only have one. Doors. Or maybe I think I might want to put a little, oh, come here. I think I might want to make like a little wood board across my door. I think that would be really cute. Just roll out a snake of clay here. That's what I'm doing. I know my hand's slightly off camera. And I got a little too big, too long. Okay, we can always stretch it a little. This is really stretchy. So we're just going to make this across the front of the door. And of course we don't want it to become a part of our door trim there. So we need to make sure we have that little line to define that this is a separate board going across the door. And as you can see, mine is kind of thick in spots, thinner in spots. Like I said, I love the rustic charm. Honestly, I do. I'm not trying to make up for, oh, I didn't do that quite right, I didn't get it even. That's not what it's about here for me. For me, it is the rustic charm. The charm of stuff that isn't quite even and isn't quite, as I've said before. I just said. I guess I'm being redundant, sorry. I'm sorry about that too, but my nose is so stuffed up this weather. One day it's in the 80s, the next day it's in the 30s right now. It's crazy. So there, whoops, I got my hand in the way of that stupid new light. There we go. And I'm calling it stupid right now because it just is not doing what I want it to. Alright, so I'm just going to take a little tiny ball of clay, roll it up, stick it on my door, and that's going to be the handle. It's going to be a rather big handle, but it's going to be the handle. I should have probably put it up there on that cross piece, but I didn't. It can sit right there. It's fine. It's a fairy door. And then I think I'm going to make two little bitty tiny hinges. I'm just going to make a little triangle shape for my hinges. And I'm just going to stick those on. One right above that. I should have put that down a little farther, but I didn't. Or do I even want those? I don't want those. Okay, well, I don't want those. So I'm going to leave this video here, otherwise it's going to be way too long. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up without you. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting down a layer of clay here and making sure I get it around the edges because I don't want those to show. And I'll be putting down a layer of clay for my ground, building up some rocks here by my little pond. And, maybe just putting some rocks here and there, some mushrooms here and there. All things you can do because this is your project. If you're making one of these, that's how you want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it, and it'll kind of be, I guess, a surprise when I'm done. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. My basic thing was to get you the tree, to give you a few ideas, to get you this far. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this off camera. And when I see you again, it will be time to paint it, decorate it, call it good. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.